John Dramani Mahama. And Raman Kanchra was a Mampanyini John Dramani Mahama. Why a clearing agent? And Raman Kaneha. Why a clearing agent? That's my peace of mind. The other sopan and now no one will buy ye. What shall see a warrior? Yes. We Macleno. Once so bano, was over Quetia proyene catastrophe. No be a bon do se proyene catastrophe was what cleano. Ma semnon twasso. Ne who are semnon the logical conclusion. Yes. If Yamboa. Ma semnon twasso process non twasso. Eh. Process not twice one papa no we deep him. Yes. Near two shire gunuso. Process not twice no papa no we deep for. What you say? They say you chaso. You chaso. We ye di piaka. Into why a senior clearing agent. Tell him. Miss why senior clearing agent. That's my peace of mind. And what clear. But what you say?
That Ghana needs to take advantage of UNESCO's advice on secondary education. How accessible is it? What is the quality? Are we running a secondary education system that produces quantity and not quality? And Mr. Speaker, my controversial point, Ghana needs a means test. A means test to determine who can pay, who cannot pay, and who can pay for education. This political thing of wanting to please everybody at the detriment of quality will harm this country in the next decade if we don't look back.
Compared to the MPP, they don't waste their time on too many insults. NDC, our mouths like acid.
The key element of the debt restructuring was the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding by the Official Creditors Committee for Ghana. The former Minister of Finance, the Honorable Mohamed Amin Adam, commenced the process for the signing of the MOU by individual members of the Official Creditors Committee in June 2024. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that following His Excellency the President's directive, we have made significant progress in Ghana's external debt restructuring. On the 17th of January 2025, I, in my capacity as Minister of Finance designate, met with Ghana's advisors and the technical team of the Ministry of Finance to discuss the state of affairs, create a timeline, and outline action plan for implementation. Since then, the Ministry of Finance team have worked tirelessly to advance the President's directive. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks a significant milestone from the team, and we are pleased to inform all Ghanaians that the Memorandum of Understanding reached with the Official Creditors Committee last June has now been fully signed by all 25 participating creditors countries. We are grateful for the Official Creditors Committee's members, their commitment, and particularly the committee's co-chair, China and France, for their support and assistance to Ghana throughout this process.
Put on the cancelled nurse allowance scheme. According to the President, the technical committee which advised government on the allowance scheme has suggested that the placement of the trainees be put in place rather than just on the loan scheme. President Mahama was addressing some trainee nurses as part of his campaign tour of the Bono Ahafo region.
TB, our committee no my recommendation. Say, Emra Yenya and amended law no say, Yade Union and Mandi member Omuye Nation and Midwifery. Yenya on Faomonto to the loan scheme no so. Yensa and Faomonto allowances no so. For the meantime. So, Alawano, Minister of Finance, I am with Juma. Bosumia make us say,
Yet, teaching and learning continue to be carried out under the most deplorable circumstances. According to Education International, about 57 million children of school-going age are not in school in sub-Saharan Africa. Delegates at this year's quadrennial conference of NAT are to deliberate on the way forward for education in Ghana from the perspective of teacher welfare. Acting President of NAT, Samuel Alubui, was emphatic government must invest more to attract and retain qualified teachers, as well as focus on rural education.
We find the repercussion of the withdrawal of the allowance a drawback to the progress so far made. Asking trainee teachers to go for loans to finance their education in the College of Education will mean that they cannot be bonded by the GES after their graduation. The likely scenario is that these teachers will look for their own schools to teach. It is very obvious that they will pick and choose where they want to teach, and no one can compel them to go to the underserved areas where the services may be needed most.
All speakers, including representatives of the Retired Teachers Association, NAGRAT, CLOGSAG, and the TUC, championed the welfare of teachers as a crucial step to addressing the challenges of education in Ghana. The Education Minister, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, was however disappointed none of the speakers spoke about teacher absenteeism.
This year, my ministry has declared zero tolerance for absenteeism. We will be happy to have NAT partner with us in making this a reality. I'm disappointed that I did not hear any of the speakers make any reference to this, but they all know what I'm talking about. I will continue what I started last year of visiting the schools unannounced. Last year, my team and I were able to do so in all the 10 regions of this country. This is not a platform to share what we found.
President John Mahama, on his part, attempted to explain the withdrawal of teacher trainee allowances.
And so, while there was space to absorb more teachers, we could not absorb them because government could not raise the money to pay teacher trainee allowances. And so it was only practical that we take the steps to make sure that all the colleges of education could enroll students to their full capacity. And that informed the decision of the Ministry of Education to transfer the students from the teacher trainee allowances to the Students' Loan Trust Scheme. What decision was taken was that new students coming into these teacher training colleges, these colleges of education, would rather take loans from the Student Loan Trust.
He said research by government has revealed about 23,000 schools under trees still exist.
So far, we have built close to 2,000 primary schools across the country. We estimate at the beginning of the exercise that there were approximately 4,300 schools under trees across the country. And so we still have about 2,300 schools under trees to eliminate. And it is government's intention that we will invest more money towards eliminating these substandard schools.
The conference, which attracted teacher unions from across the world, ends on Friday, 10th January 2014. It will also elect new national executive of the association. For Joy News, Gifty Andopia, Accra.
John Dramani Mahama. Why a clearing agent? Why a clearing agent? That's my peace of mind. The other super nanado no one will buy ye washa see a warrior. Yes. We Macleno. Once so bano, was over quetia proyene catastrophe. No be a bon quo do se proyene catastrophe was what cleano. Ma semnon twasso. Ne who are semnon the logical conclusion. Yes. If you ma semnon twasso process non twasso. Hey. Process not twice one papa no we deep him. Yes. Near two shire gunuso. Process not twice no papa no we diffo. What you say? They say, you castle. You castle. We are the pianka. And why a senior clearing agent? Tell him. Miss Why
senior clearing agent.
That's my peace of mind.
And clear.
But what you say?
Clear.
So compared to the MPP, they don't waste their time on too many insults. So, NDC, our mouths like acid.
Mumu hana tu etutu ne. Hana kida rofolo. Hana tutu no. Ai. Hana kida rofolo. Hana suma. Na buto hana suma. No hana kida rofolo. Hana suma. Fabula ya basara. Noya. Ona mufa wa ni rofolo. Eh, muje. Wose no fa na wa. You bodyguard. Eh, mama bodyguard. Kujo, commander. Mufa mu bas basara na ba zo kirma o. Ana.
Bushiamfo. Mamu nyina kwa wasoronko ede bomba RAZ Media GH so abushiamfo nyino ajo. Mamu nyina kwa aba pa. Mame Esther K Barima fiura ba ko peme mo akwa aba yie. Oja owusu me mo akwa aba. Mame reta me mo nso akwa aba. Bushiamfo Mr. Wase bo modern na share video no mame. Like video no. Na fra do for say wo mera. Enne efi ha. Ayeshipa. Already yankupon. When never hu discussion me pese me inform free baby. Amen family. Enti yanto ba say mame na tie me ye. Tie me ye pa. Yeah, Elizabeth, mame Elizabeth Cham mo akwa papa. Where me da bia me transia na me kama asebo me say wadwene na da wutim no se wo ye wadwene se wo mpese wo be yusu a mansuro. Don't worry, relax, you will find somebody to use it for you. Na nipa no be yusu a or the beye de ono pe amane ho. Yes, dear nasi abusua dear ben nasi and sembebre Ghana education me say we are going back in 20 years backwards. Ayekre. Bibia ayekre. Na wa hu yes say woni nkontomponi edi nkomo na otwa ntro kirewa. Wo challenge na obebre. Obeye mre. Man challenge no. Jano no no ankasa narity nsem no mfanko. Mano ankasa nko ebre ebe man to aba bedadi. Aye. When in contomponi kasana so twan trochrewa, don't rush to insist to get the outcome. Jano maninko okwa within a shortest time. Na ne to abeda I say en contompo anamo eden 8 ya. Mu nyina motimase yie pa. Abusu ade be na asi ene. Nsem asi de edoso. Nsem asi edoso. The cruelest, destructive, I don't know, insensitive character, the NDC leadership, no. We are going to now to Abama NDC, but uti from I mankese kosum sekramoni o for tikobo from o for utiko from botiase to say the when near wu aha sa aka na meka no abusia aden boni ben e na Ghana for modi ayem hu sei boni ben pa na mankasa modi ayem hu sei ene speaker gwamba benso ono at parliament oye majesty oye king hey democracy pa democracy na ewom no yen ni autocracy yen ni monarchy yes we are practicing what democracy. What is the meaning of democracy? Majority carries the vote. Every decision is being taken by majority. Ghana democracy is 50% plus single number. Ultimately, majority. Now they are decided. But now, the autocracy, a dictatorship, pure dictatorship. Well, let me take you back a little bit. Na kai baby. There be a same way I can. See, nipa na omfrant me kwa na say. Kwatre kwaso we mon tuma fira. Ya tie ni din. Ya na nanom be na omubu na omumu ni kwa. Omubu be because e was kire. Ai. Omubu be because ebe no was kire. Enti kwatre kwaso be mon tuma fira tie ni din ni kire say. Send this country so be ma wo ho atɔ e wo Ghana man mu a aya na wa kai de oyɛ de ma wo opero be di Ghana konwa so from PNDC NDC kai de omo yɛ de ma wo now they are jomo ati ala say wan jomo ati. Now in a intellectual discussion you say history always what repeats itself and history now repeating now. History always repeats itself, and that is a fact. Hey Ghana, before we go on, I'm in fan check say mama me vida me mwakwa pa. Yeah. Abusha mama like video na Addo phone to mekayo. Abusha mfo ye wa di be friend identity. Me ba me topic no so, but I just want people to listen to how the NDC was able to organize and make sure say they kill Ghanaians with this kind of idiocy that they are preying on us today in Ghana. A friend be identity no is very, very important in a human life. Now say case identity as it say what makes me different from you and I make my identity. The reason why I'm not you, no, and I am my identity. The things that makes me different from you, no, that is what is my identity. Identity is very, very important. Oh, say your national identity or yet card yo nationality, national identity say make say me a Ghana nia so say me ko share baby kura na unye Ghana nia na we Ghana ni. Let me who that me name that because of nationally your identity bintino I can join myself with you at any time. Yes. And I have individual identity. Individual identity ne me we entem de ma me nye wo no and I am me identity. It's something very, very, very important. And when you want to control people, let them find themselves in identity, a common with you, and you get them. But they make a motive say yepa. So person control nipa dasania. All what you have to do, and I say, obey to me, amane de I consider ne part of you. And we can use Christianity as an identity for somebody, which is not individual, but that is a community identity. You can use religion, Muslim religion as an identity to capture some group of people. So, into say yen na, I just say, but be one dear, be okay, you're perfect. But omo bonteno, and omo different from us. Yen ni momo, yen ne trust to omumu. Na ye dwene se omo ye nipa bia ye hu omo ye besu ye hu omo ye suro won ye nim de wo omo tim but ye nyanka se yen pe we feel say everything is good and ye no where is good e ye bad e ma wo mo abusuam kura sa na te wo abusua no odu se bibia ye okay but outside your abusua no the ye good no consider as a bad thing. That is what the NDC has done. The NDC was able to capture the mindset of the people joining them together to be part of a certain identity. Yeah, ho chiri yen wo mine. God, yeah, already young people. Already young people. And this is for not to me capitalize it, the mindset of people are because of their family status, because of their background, because of the type of love that they conduct. Amo here for war mine. Any crime. Any crime. And this is for to me associate with them. Amo be freely say they are part of the NDC, or the NDC is one of those people. Until they may, as soon as we out, can ultimate extra or comment section box show. Ye nipa 200 or mukoto abama NDC 70% ye here for 30% na can in ye nipa be or more their personal interest. If the NDC comes in power, the favors that they will get from the NDC. Power to from Nigeria they making. Omo moto Obama NDC no yi mu 100 gyina ho a 70% omo ni bi omo ho kyerɛ omo bubu agu fam kora omo ne hwe omo asabie abusuafie kora omo ni bi na sabie weye sopi we tia say there is no unity in their family because of poverty. 70% of them they voted for the NDC. 30% na omo aka no omo ne randia benom omo ne randia benom omo ne lawyer kwetekurekunom omo beni tipo yen kan say apia stadium nom saa nipa no kwakuma anu nom ne saa artist ne hwan omo na munya hiafo. But the reason why they voted for the NDC is because when the NDC comes in power, they have their personal interpersonal relation with the NDC whereby they are going to benefit and make more money from them. And I hear for no mom there. NDC for the team capture mo. And they are a group of a community identity be home. Yeah, omoka a community identity. We say yeah here for and to me and to aba and man this because NDC preach say they are there to fight for the poor people. Me aba me we ma utiem. Me aba utiem. And this leadership. Here ni ba ben and a woman. Okuja to abrakwa yehu how rich he is. Sam George yehu how rich he is. Asiedun Katia yes yehu how rich he is. John Dramani Mahama yehu how rich he is. No Ankasa Nabusia yehu say it is one of the most richest families in the country as at now. Sami Jamfi yehu how rich he is, even though his background is a very poor family. Ewo Doma area ho. Domasu and Sami Jamfi. He comes from a very poor home. Elike J from Sampa. He comes from a very poor background, but now he's one of the richest men in that German South district. Metimi aboba manu nsida. Kevin Taylor, yetimi twa 1 million the command $1 million on Jim Fundy. In Koto kwasi apanye na social media so ye did no. They gave him about I think $20,000 for him to speak. Amodoso. So enkrofo yetimi do mo akobo ahiafo no. Ahiafo no a ohia na omotim no. Eya NDC for na koso. So yes. Say here for the NDC for na more here for. But the NDC was able to make them feel say they are part of them. Second, let's go to the religious side. You see how they created the identity of the NDC? They created an identity of Christianity attached to who? To the NDC. And omoko asori fo nyina etu hwi no mo ye den omoko di NDC echi no omoko to abafo enemia hwan na ne ho kire no wo na okoto abade ma NDC a wo so ye hiani You are the one suffering now. You are what? The one who is suffering now. Because they don't what? Care about you. Said Dr. Lahaj Muhammad Bawumian and Addo Mobaya. Their intention was to bring people on equal level. Omontisa Omodi Omobayana Omobayana. Eye one our sponsor one more campaign and I ever chesika more yet your mobile business. They are coming to join hands together to deal and make money, a lot of money. Aye. We are bar the US in chain. We are bubu, we will be our bubu for the US in chain. When in one day, the US in chain. We are kayaye, you better help Payama. Yeah. Oh, to God of Nazareth. Oh, God of Nazareth. Uswakaye, you better help Pine. The mu drama. We are truck pusher. You better go to truck with their brother. What go so pushy? Said the beya 5 years, 4 years to come, you can still be there for them. Something that will make you motivate yourself to become somebody better, to become better person. No? And this is a lie. Ade, na me wo aboda. You say from Nanado. Hi. Yes, see a friend Nanado ababa ye dia opama. Omonye. Miyanom a mu tie me. Announcement na e wo ho no. Ni nyina ne say J Kufo sheda tenase. Edwene ye hu say Ghana maimu a teacher for ho ena. A nurse for ho ena. Enti the obeye ne say obema a kind of a premium. Ama obi obetu ne ho asi ho say opeso meye nurse ni ana teacher ni. And the woman say ahiafo ma ebinom na omo person meye a teacher for omo meye nurse for. But enam sika na omo ni bi wo abusuamo ntino. They could not afford the cost of what? Studies. And even the cost of living. So day, omo be go school. E dey wie no ma be teacher for and also ma be nurse for. Entikufo tikese the gentleman, the giant gentleman. Etumi trans ye den. Etwa Ghana sika bi to ho a wo sha ase so ko nursing school a ana teachers training school a na ono ankasa aban no ma waduane di. Etua olad be e wo school mo ho de mo use no tua na osanso ebo sika kakra egu uyam wa furum. Said the beya, here no kroma wunya isa ngoma na wusua no. That was a solution to what? To a problem. It wasn't about politics, so it wasn't about because of politics or because of vote. Kufuor did that because he wanted to what? Help people, motivate people to become teachers and nurses in the country. Said the deficit of teachers and nurses. Na uyare na yedo ko clinic babia. What to me obi owo nimde wo apom dene ho nsem ho na ahwew. Ai. Hey, oh, we are Ghana ni pa. Yeah, already Yankop. Yeah, I didn't take crap on Yankop for me. I mean, be free sama. I am any public money. I would dear, have money. Sadina go for ye, no. And yes, Biana or ye because of popular vote. No. Now there is a problem in the society. Papa Natanasi who say, Sa problem was one solve or mine, yen cobabia. Sans Otanasi who said there is deficit of teachers in our schools. And you know, let me give this support to people so that much people can motivate themselves to become teachers. Way anybody for ye. Way anybody what? Kufoye. Now what yes na yɛn nam hɔ no obia ɛwɔ pepa o pepa no obia obi but say adwene na ɛda wo ti mu no ɛni ɛne yɛnka ne sɛ fama sɛdeɛ ɛbɛtumi ayɛ saa pepa na wopɛ sɛ wonyɛ no a wontumi nyɛma no nyɛ yie ɛbɛtumi de wiase nneɛma nyinaa ma wo wontumi ma no gyi ɛma no nkɔ so abusuafoɔ teacher trainees, nurses trainees, omo sika na Jake for the buyer, and this for buyer or mobile chairmu, and another buyer or Sunday buyer. No. And then, and this for so mobile chairmu. Aye. Omo yede, omo ba ababi chem ate a free hop. You don't need to be paid whilst you are going to the tertiary institution. So what? Who has ever support to Marco tertiary institution? And a second, and who here say who tertiary institution are buying and a better dianama. These are words of how do I do so? And Yamina make out. Maybe, but I'm building my point. Me walk a Jemaquaba. The new Minister of Education, our papa, Nyankopon Buano, Emma Kwame Nkrumah Dauro Manti, Otumiko School, NM School, so, and ne, Wabeye de Waye. I ne, Wabeye full Minister of what? Education. Haba Bontian Bekan Ghana Funyina, so no dear. Sa asem no ontumi mfa nya adwuma because onte ase de ntia o se Ghana ni ba a wanyina wokọ tertiary institution aban ene wo so nye den omma wo aduane ni anase on san so support o e wo kwan bi so ema wade sua na wafo asi wani so no enko so nti ono de obetwam na hwe eye mo amojejereje because nipa no wadi kan aka. So,
that guide of UNESCO's advice.
Where any pan wadi can't in many occasions. So no, akwanya yede man na utimi benyini beye de waba beye nei. One of the prominent politicians in the country no. Akwanya Kwame Nkrumah de man no tumi nya ya odi ko school a ene wadru babia wadru e was say nkomo na omonye yen can say examples of the good product of free education and easy access to school without not taking condition of your status of finance. Ada so ye hia ni ana o yesikani we no na so nko munni free education ho dance mfama ye. But Papa we, even when he was not Minister of Education, he sent a strong warning to Ghanaians to say, Sadia na nanado ye ne nkwase asem ma no. So bia wo ne ba. Na wo afa ne se wo de ne ko school. And this all a clear-sounded person. You should understand, say, the issue of helping people to have a deeper education level, no, is something the NDC cannot bear. Because to me here be school. To me fa Ghana sika and here be school. Abro no ne hade no drisu. Onye sika phone ni. Mahama entumi nyae ni Dubai kro. Any boat so tra. Any 24-hour discotheque ewo Jubilee House ho. No this is kana about the school. Entunu school no ye ma onko ni free. Said ye be benye sika. Na edi bi asisi dan wo Dubai. Ye di bi atoto dan wo London. Ye di bi atoto cars akese di ama ye ma. Na sabio yiwe so asan so de ma. Ama omo akọ ware abrofo de omo be gu oman no. Nti wo no oba akra ya wo oman mu ho no. unya sa nkrofo o moma ne bi na waware no wanya sika ne bi adi enti wono you are supposed to remain poor because that is what you deserve. You can't muso mayenka me ba I'm building myself enti message so there like a video no na share video no mama ja comment so na you be kan comment e wo ho nyina e de ama enti no please just like the video and share. Listen to what this man said before he became.
I'm concluding that Ghana needs to take advantage of UNESCO's advice on secondary education. How accessible is it? What is the quality? Are we running a secondary education system that produces quantity and not quality? And Mr. Speaker, my controversial point, Ghana needs a means test. A means test to determine who can pay, who cannot pay, and who can pay for education. This political thing of wanting to please everybody at the detriment of quality will harm this country in the next decade if we don't look back.
Yes, and Papa, that's a more kind. None in our child prefer say, oh no, or you be obeyed, or support to say ye bet to me a day or mine seeker. I day. Ye bet to me or mine seeker. Sabio. Eddie I heard a man for school. Now, yeah, because Brana Nanado, ye kasafa free education, who's an anado, abon a homo dene. Najuma waye de unprecedented. Papa we Yankupon Shirano. No. Na enipa ni binom so catch the Ghana for say. Anyone say you consider Nanado say wabo Juma. Ni say according to them no. Nanado no enyo no ne bottom musika. Yeah, already. Christianity in my country is something different. Yeah, we no. Na enipa ne binom so ka kire Ghana for say. Ye nya idea no. Na de ye no jimisem. So because se kese Nanado abona homoden e de amanfo ma ekọ school a yenka ne yie because enya Nanado ni sika nya ne bottom sika na ode ye den na ode hwe amanfo ma school enti emaya mo na baso me I want to make my things very clear because I want people to understand where I'm coming from. Upe so mo bia me free so ametuma so me bunu ni ba pa pure bunu ni ba proud bunu ni yes yeah enti brana ye ka kire Ghana for say hey Nanado no adwuma na oye no emu eduro enye easy to do it o momento abama no na ye momento abama ne badi e kire because said ye tie bia no the political ideology of the leader and the vice president is almost the same. Only say the vice president will implement a different things bia sabio ebema nema akona nim na edne so obeye nema be ma ema nema akona chi kwasi ampanyi we so ba abontinti asem o ka kire Ghana 40
no mind sikawo e na ban ne dia you free education no na said ye nuanom MPP for e de jom ho asafohene na so mu ka so ma ya de na free education na said ye sebe eya aban na bottom ska ana MPP political party no man ka sika e no mu de free education no enya aban na bottom ska na say your mind sika dia ene ye sebe te said ye bra kwame mama uska na diska na ya de amame e kwan bi so no untimi emfa eju ho untimi mfa njo wonum ena untimi mfa nkyere ho say ade no eye mia media ena ewo ho na wo de ya ade amame nti wonya hwe nti akafia be fa free education so na ye dey campaign I said ye ya dey bi mada
papa
education
okay
aha ntino na do kan sisi animu ana sika aban no oman ne sika no no de bo nipa ho bane e de ma nipa nya nindia na ye ka kire Ghana for se monkoto abamfa mo papa we na ba de akire na ometo papa ne nyuma papa so no na kwase ampanyin we a ɔte asɔre mu a amanfo ahiafo wansi na wagyegya bɔ mo kro no a ɛde anya ne ho sɛ etwam ejina TV so ka sɛ de kyerɛ Ghana fo ma ka nsɛm wei de kyerɛ na asɔrefo ma sɛ ɛma ɔmo nyina wei so enkoto aba emfama Dr. Alhaji Mahamadu Bawumia na asɛm papa yi kan na me bisa sɛ saa na ɛsɛ saa na wo kan de na ɛsɛ Mahama so ba the same money na yɛde ama no ɔman ne sika no sɛ de kura ne nsɛm no I think say he can also use ɔman ne sika no to do those good things for the people. That was what we all expected, because how are this kwasiampanyin way underestimate the issue, I mean the expenditure the education service no ho a na aban kata na ni ye ne dendende na sabi wedru ba bimpo na ya nkasa ye party fo etwabo na nado se onyai edene adentia na papa ya kata na ni ana oye no kwasiampanyin we gina ba bi kan sem we abra na nado aka ne sensi so ai dokono ene fish ene mako na yatwi kura na nado bedi na odi ahwem kwad amanfo ma school ema nimde abɔman no but nkrofo we no monte asie nti no omunim say yes something very 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 easy. Whatever I'm talking to you, I want to reason to a point so that you can understand me well. Say the answer is teacher training allowance. Unim ni parodo yetua mom. Teacher training allowance. Omo yesen. Teacher for omo ewo training college. Omo dodo yesen. Nurse for omo training college menne. Omo dodo yesen. Catch them. Sabangwe. Oye the most useless and the most insensitive and the most cruelest people. And I go for Mohammed name. The person on team as ye say teacher training for nursing training for kakra way. And a John Mahama and Nkurofo say omun to me more alawa. How can you think say John Mahama be to me in sika? Eddie Pia Ghana former about 4, 5, 6, 7 million people school. Almost school fees, eating, shirt, pabwa, books, printing fees, PT and why. How dare you to think, say nipa be say fan say let me exaggerate. Mommy exaggerate. Mommy exaggerate. Let's think, say the teacher and the nursing trainees, you know, actually, let's consider them to be like 500,000. So which means 500,000. I'm exaggerating, no. Me can be a gum, me share a compo, I'm a moye. Now, me share a compo, na me can't gym come, And let's take example, say, teacher for moko, amount for moko training college and to become teachers. Anyone I work on nursing training and to become nurse, I'm going 500,000. I'm just exaggerating. No. Se sani pa kitwa we, dom kitwa we. Ena John Mahama ne Harino Idrusu say, omun to me enye den entia wan allowance sema wana then how can you think, and what will make you think, say, these guys can maintain something a symbolical, a identity of the West African Education Service, free SHS, in Ghana. How do you think that these guys can maintain it? It is what? Palpable lie. But now let me tell you something. Do you know why they are hiding themselves? You know, me catch say free education no untimi megina bonten announce directly say wetwamo. But the nursing training and the teacher training allowances no eno de obetuma megina bonten akese wetwam because eno ye nipa kakra bi etu betuma akese wetwam. But the free education no yebese no yebemana ye complicated. The accessibility will be corruption practices. So unisika wonko. At the end of the day, the free education that is being meant for the poor ones, you know, it will be for the rich men and their daughters and their sons. Sanyama we and then this is for prane hiddenly. Say you know mobile ye. Na eya na yepe. Yes, sir, and I fatanso because a yana and I adjun say, ye pesadian. Now, Papa win who am I? Munti and the
your mind sick out and I buying the DIU for education. Now, I said, young MPP for the Jomo as a for him. Now, so more castle my idea of education. I said, yes, Sabi, a bina bottomska, and as MPP, political party, no man catchika, and no more for education, you know. And ya bina bottomska, and I said, your mind sick at the air. And yes, Sabi, to say the black army, Mamoska, now this can I add, dear mammy. A crime be so no, won't me and far in June, won't me find Joe Noom, and won't me find Trevor. Says I dear no a mere media. And a wall when our day yard, dear mammy. Into 1 year, into a cafe of education. So now, yet the campaign, I said, yeah, dear, be mad. Papa, education, and your man.
And to me, but of for more. Say, I feel now, Bana, Unyanko, SSR. Hey. The free education service in Ghana is not working anymore. Omasha si omukesa amanfo. Omo ba omuntu nuanema omumfa mo omamra. Ai. Ya sha se ayeji amanfo sika. Ya sha se the corruption NDC John Dramani Mahama administration no. Ya be platform na to ho. Ya sha se ye position ye ho a ye de bedi discount kete e de free amanfo na de ya ne se papa wo ye okasa ye so yo sofo ai Yesu Kristo na papa wo ese oye na je nko a odi na chi ankasa menji Nyankopon ni o mesramo. Don't take me in the contest. I'm just trying to make a statement concerning his faith. Papa wo yo say nam nyame Yesu so ene nti oye na dwuma a oye a ode pon ho staff hin so no de oye Nyankopon nipa no Yesu ba asase so no na nipa na odwene omo ho eye hiafo. But papa wo odwene ne bottom enya sa enka even the fact say obi owo tumi se nka sika no betum dia ya ade foforo na ode hwe ajanka no Eddie here hiafo when I want to be no. Now send ka papa we instead of you to come out and condemn the art. I was saying ka won praise no man phone say yes papa we why dey wapo adwuma eso na efata na nka upo no won recommend him to the people to go and vote for him. Now this is the status of the free education. Free education no. They are going to collapse it. Said Omadi and Matro Max. Said the Omodi National Health Insurance. Said the Omodi school feeding program. Said the Omoye Nkania and Omobesen. I Ombenesa. Said Omoye teacher training allowance before. Now more repeating. They are going to do the same thing. They can't catch us. It is about history. History always repeats itself. Aye. That's a quatre qua. Ebejira no to na numu tuo so no be ma wontoma firi a no obi sase na okura no ye frɛ wo sɛn ugina sɛn wo da sɛn. And today is what they're going to do. Na abusia ena no pa ye sori ye na hari no Idrisu sanso de another issue bi abeto abontra fa the training college for no ho. Na amemo video we nkyerɛ na tie. Ye wi a I will pray you. But I don't know Ghanaians, what makes you people, some of the Ghanaians, what makes them think, say, Onipa dasani ebe to me as a son completely to become an angel. Minim says, I been ye bunu or my Ghana, mo I say, Jata, obe to me as a son, na na honam ne kan se ne ni wi na e wo ne ho no but ni suban de ontumi nsesa ne da saa nso na sanka se there can be no animal in the forest but fatu tim se jata enwi wurada. Yes e abebu kese pa na me kan chiro no enti nipa bi wo ho a Yankopon bo modern boa wo ma wunya possibility to value the credibility of the person once. So far as when your possibility to value the credibility of the person, that could have been enough. Senka obetum dia gina so say say nipa we there. Ni su enene ban nie. Ontumi nsesa ne su ne ban ne mane ye because bahama bedi akonwa no. Oho kire no ka kire so oho akire wa. No aka kire so no ye dwan funu. Opa ye demonstration opa wo wiase bia. Until oye nye dwan yo abrechi funu abrechi. Yes, dead goat and you dwan yo. A sheep, a dead sheep and a you dwan. Dead goat eya ponchi funu. Wa ho na wa ye kekae. Wo de sekan kura wo aponchi funu sekan ebu eka wo nsam. Enti Nyankopon ma ya kwanya me yehu the quality. Ama yehu the quality na abo mahama in terms of governance. Nyankopon ma yehu said the man has no credibility in terms of governance. So we were already alert. We could have said that was a mistake and it's acceptable mistake because no the vice president and the boss who here even for sympathy vote now the end of the character, the incompetency, the inability to manage the affairs the way I was saying that could have been enough for us to take a critical decision on this last election. But the Sanko Daya who a nine ponche, ye woo you. Ye ponche ye woo ye. But yetimiko ye dead goat, a ponche woo, so media name. So these are the consequences of actions that we take. You say, Yeda, Obeto, Bo, Eddie Chari, a so from no. Yes, I don't know, Betty Wachi. Yeah, won't do what ye are sadan. A brebe ba, a brebe chum, as no wash as to say, what chi a ya. But Saber na catch you want to born a re, wouldn't to me sank of Fabonum to a chi, and my yano in free home. And to that I got to a banana, man for nam cromuye de den, a man for a tree so the couldn't ask for sound crophone or more. Huh? Abusiamfo. Sa nkrofo na omo ye dede. Omo tiem. Ena ya wini o. Ena ya wini o. Ena mahama ba. Ena mahama ba eyezu eyeza afa. Ya ni ya chi obia ni ho. Hwe ya ban na aba. Sese die. Ye na ye the top men no. Ene omo ahase esu tie we. Tie kwasi ampanyi ni we.
Oba Ashanti Region Belanchi Women Manifesto. Ebe catcher say Ghanaian women matter. Mr. President, Okacha say women will play vital role in the national development. So women we would be the center of your governance. Mr. President, Okacha say affirmative action law. Oba equal gender, equal number of gender on the table. You need Oba, you need Bearman. So I say Ghanaian women we matter. Also, be National Women's Development Bank, IA business. Also, be increase technical and vocational programs. Send a develop because our program the map and there. Mr. President, as for what we ordered, no, and you know that you deliver my end. But it's very sad. But what I'm about to tell you is the saddest of all. Can't remember you are coming at all. Yes, will be to me apply. My boss, Francis Kerry, your boy, Mama Tundra, why deputy bandsma, women organizer, why Ashanti regional women organizer, what call regional women organizer, LUC will live in vote, or damn environmental and sanitation board, so, or sad agenda board, so, what contain you to my drink, what handle 47 constituency, I run the women's affair of this 47 constituency, can me just 6 constituencies, and so you may be, I'm on my catrasia, or bar ain't me, KM mayor. From a party where, Mr. President, you were centered on women development and women empowerment. This is where the political party starts. Oma converting, you must the question. The most funny thing is say, can me mayor, you know, or book of via or pick a form, or bet you at 3,000, damage you at 3,000. Or my equal standard. That means Ashanti region, you won't go master die on say, breaking the gender gap in NDC. No, my imagine so much dear. And you're lie, or when Yamankophobia, ama your banner tries to challenge gender status quo. Ewa Ashanti region, almost let you see yamping. I mean, and then can't remember your interview. No, Mukoy, no, remember, Tundra, Francis, do your way, Remu, Yamusan question behind. You see, I disqualified no. Nipa 8, no, member 60, man 2, na shortlisted one crime. You marry me, you're doing every. And this is under an administration that promised us women employment and women development, that promised us women empowerment, that promised us that women we would be a center in your governance, that promised us a gender balanced governance. And you told us that the HSO obey your crown say because you remember me, my vice president or your banning to you put women on board and women will add their voices to that of Jenano Pokwajima. What is wrong, sir? Ashanti region. Your friend frontliners in Ashanti region. Your friend Ashanti regional minister, no your Bema. Your friend came was not your bar. What is wrong with it? And on the better you said, Mr. President, you promised and you have delivered. Almost a sign a dear call around some radio station. Your friend, my Francis do your boy, or we Dean Francis do Mesa, or friend batch and for catch a batch and forcing the Dean or Master Sam, almost saying you know my Francis do. What is wrong? I need some Francis do your one bay. Yeah, one man may be Ashanti region and NDC, they are intimidated by the successful women. They are intimidated when women like Francis do your one person climate challenges gender status now. But it's funny, say, Mama, and you wish Mama to rise higher up in politics. But some people or baby beko. Now, example, Ben or Baba and Bob they should give us the reason because we're vetting room. You may understand the question, they are most disqualified. Or call St. Louis or your Slopsa, or call University of Education Uniba, or call Gempa, Patricia PJ, Ababe, a KM Mayoda, or Babisia. What is wrong that NDC do Ababe KM Mayoda? And this is where the political apathy stands from. Mr. President, for when NBC came in saying Ashanti region. Because Ashanti region have launched women manifesto. So, Mr. President, please do the needful. We beg you in the name of God.
Aha. The echo no. Ono ma okoto abano. Yenya nruba bia o mesi afe ne yewo eyezu o. Yenya nye so say yeza. And so still, people have started crying. Now, where me video we are so now I hear there. Yeah. You must watch this video. These people too are also crying. Maybe I am not teacher training for so.
1 week for 2024-2025 academic year to begin for level 100 students in the University of Ghana. The University of Ghana, through its Public Affairs Directorate, has issued a statement announcing a new increase in residential fees. Level 100 students are expected to pay 3,000 Ghana cedis for the academic year, compared to last year, where they paid roughly 2,500 Ghana cedis. Continuing students who the academic year began in the 2024 also have been told to top up their residential fees by additional 500 cedis. Speaking to some students in the University of Ghana, they have expressed their frustrations about the whole situation.
And we have previously agreed on something, and the agreement was that all final years and continuous students will have to pay 2,000 cedis. As of, there was another increment in that fees. So we had agreed and we paid that 2,000 cedis. And then I just wake up Sunday and I heard that I saw a message circulating that there was an increment in the residential fees again. So I think this I would say that it is an autocracy decision that I've taken.
Right now, I've paid my hall fees 2,000 cedis, and now just sending another information that I have to pay an additional 1,500 cedis. Is going to be stressful. What if my parents are not able to afford? I still have to go through another stress during the vacation to make up that money to come and pay.
Increasing residential fees, without any prior notice, without giving us ample time to prepare. We are still in school. Our parents are still sending us money. We still need to feed. There are few projects to be done. All these things cost money. And then you're also telling us that you have increased our residential fees from 2,000 cedis to 3,000, or even potentially 3,400 Ghana cedis. Who does that?
Students in the University of Ghana are appealing to the university management to reconsider the increments.
Management will have to review their decision in that. What have been issued to students this week, management will have to reconsider their decision and then consider the situation of the students currently. Some of us are here, we barely eat for, we have something we call information 001 a day. Even the ones I'm talking about, students don't get a better food to eat.
Over the years, we got to know that the traditional halls are always something that we believe to be in the hands of the government. So the government makes sure that he does what he could to make it affordable for the normal people, average people to get it. Now, if it is also competing with the diaspora and the other halls, I don't really see the difference. So
the 2024-2025 academic year began in October for the continuing students, and the level 100 students were also expected to report to school in January. Reporting for Joy News, Collins from Pong.
And to you, American school, was this amount? Was it over the years, the government of Ghana, led by Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia, they were making it possible. They were doing everything possible. So the higher education level, be accessible to Omo Muniska. I hear for Obiabe to me, I then Ako school be. And to me, can't you say Nkrofo way? Omo mpesa man for here for Mabeko school. Now, Monkai said the vice president not to when and what country them say school be no more while say fanya asika forma. Anyone say here for Makobi. That is what they are pursuing. Now, dear Yana said, they have started from the schools, on the level, higher level schools, Babia. Utimi kona uwia, anya society numu, ubenya Babia Jinano. That is where they have started their stupidity. My man fan to me say free. I don't know what I say. A man phone to me connect and training because uko we are on sabe ko ano ubetimi aye independent in a way. College school no so and so uko we are yankopon boawa ubetimi aye independent. So they are targeting where people, the poor men, can get out of their circumstances, poverty. No? They are targeting, say, they are going to make sure, say, I hear for man, and to me, then, enya kwine, and cause schools are hold on be. na omo atima ba be nipa titiro bi e wo man no yeto aba ni wie enche de bia o na say wo a wugina campaign platform so kan kire Ghana for say you are coming to make the Ghana education services better and affordable to everyone. Eba ne sen ena obedi akonwa your first actions are visible, tangible. Na wani betumi ahu na waso beti na obetumi afili. And they say that schools now promise you to make them feel better. No, your mum, and they say we do any better. Akujina wonso. Abusia, the most cruelest political party in the history of Ghana, NDC way. Aye. Jerry, the bit man can say no, you could detect. No, you detector. A detector conduct himself as a detector. But a democratic party, awaba by more. Who conduct who taking decisions without not taking considerations of what the people, the masses will feel. Obi awaba by more. Oh, yeah, the obey to me be I said I hear for to me access to education. You are very wicked and very bastard leadership. Now, dear Yanon say, Sound crofo where your musui. On the medical identity once some children. Sound crofo your musui. Mahama and the NDC make them fair to say they were part of the Omo part of them or belong to what? To the NDC. Because the MPP is a capitalized political party. Capitalism. Capitalism is not a bad deal. It gives space for private people to enrich themselves. So, but the NDC used that level of identity to capture the mindset of the poor ones. Mumra meka ye ho. Ye na ye baba mo ho atomo. Ye na ye baba ye nsenkyerene. Ye na ye baba ma bo abodo ato afiri soro. Ye na ye baba mana ato afiri wiema begu manum. Anopa mo sori a mahama kura kan kira amanfo so be mo what? Kosua baako, pizza baako. Wan o ka kira mo. Ene wahu ye wiye. Wahu ye wiye. Now the most the babina I had in the panel of Fina Mebeco. I feel Nebeco. Baby had in a Fina Beco. But the can't catch us say, how do you do so? The can't catch your person in the Ghana Education Service or can on campaign platform. Say Ghana buying second team here amount for ma. Almost what? Ghana buying to me here amount for my school. Okay. And the Mahama buying us, oh, you are the best brother that can make this my agenda of avoiding poor ones to get to school. No, everything I hear to maintain the sign and tell the alcohol. And a papa you call her. Now, Busha video way exclusive. That was a video way exclusive. MPP Borough Project Kromunyanyai. To a exclusive video. Maybe watch on what we are. They are pense mu. Aha. It means I'm so say, but mother and I like video no mama. I will say another like no from pa. And I unyan subscribe so I message say subscribe. Na be kan busia kuo no ho. Channel we say so ye wo den so a message wa say fa unsa si adoma no so. Said ye be ya say your back life wa ubenya amanebo notification amanebo say your back life no abe join yen ne no adi agro no abom but message say miwia de ye nyina no de me ye nyina no kwan obefa so obetumi aboa me nyina ne say oba obe like video na ama me obe share na obe twere comment nso na yetumi area den a promote ye ho na video na ye no atumi akọ because I think say my intention of all what I'm doing, it is one, let Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia become the president of the Republic in 2028. 7 January 2029, I want to see my president, Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia, being sworn in as a leader of the country's affairs at the what? Sapa can could have friend say. Yeah, Momoamie. Momoam. Park and could have friend say me would free. Brass Square. Well, Black Star Square. There be a Black Star Square. Yeah, Emma. Well, in any case, the ME person me say doctor. You best sworn in on the 7th of January 2029. Ewo Ghana maimu no ba bedi anim. Enti se obe video now like here. Ebe boa ma video na akọ na enipa atensem na ye ka no. Na tumi asesa amanfo na adwene. Na se bi odie na adwene kura nsesa kura na ebe tumi motivate no more. So obe ye den obeto abapa na ama ye man na fa ne ntoma pafira. Yento aso na yenkontimi se wa se like video no mame. Na Independence Square every adult Medasepa mame, Medasepa, any queue, Medasepa. Yeah, that is what I'm expecting. Says 7 December, Ebe said Dr. Wene. Now on the 7th January at the Independence Square, Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia, Obeso Afranum, any Koranum, now Odia then I swear in as the new leader of the country's affairs. Yes. Enuti oha into ba na wa subscribe na wa like video no na wa ja comment so Evans ankama kofi me ya me wakwa papa na patient dance ma me wakwa ba yi pa ya kiu me wakwa ba awidi ko me wakwa ba ye bra panyi samoro ku no me wakwa ba yi pa achempon kofi me wakwa ba na set ken me wakwa ba yi pa Rashford entry me wakwa ma me later you're welcome Oseb pa bi me wakwa ba Evelyn Addo Akim Machiao. Mimi obo, o want to say, Mimi a hoya party. Sansu na yimi a John Apia Kubi. Oh, didn't wait there, say me area hopeful didn't Apia Kubi. And I can dedo, Memwakwa pa. Me president Bakope by the botche, Memwakwa, Mahumpa. And I Jesse Sami Jesse from Hamburg, Mawonso Akwaba. Yeah, Frank Davis, Mwakwaba. Entry Constance. You're welcome. Frank Kofi, you're welcome. Amankwasa mwarkwa bena, mwakwa wa yepa. Ena Fiora Bakupe, Mame Esther K. Badima, also mwakwa. Ena Eja Owusu. Mamunyi na kwa babusiamfo. Amiguswa eso se, bomodana like video na yentumi push video no yede. Enko na nimpa. Yes, it is possible and it will be possible on the 7th of January 2029 to see Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia being sworn in as the leader, the new leader of the Republic of Ghana. Concerning the teacher trainees allowances.
More importantly, you raise the issue of student allowances. It will continue. Subsequent to the Education Forum, for which I have the pleasure to invite you to come, we'll take some major decisions based on the recommendations. But off-head, there is no way you should be feeding a student at the tertiary level off-head. So we have to work out a transition from the allowance into an enhanced student loan for them to feed themselves. But in the interim, they will still get the allowances. Then just the next very few months going forward, subject to the recommendations of the committee. But I cannot conceive of a student in a higher education institution being fed. We can narrow feeding to basic and to free senior high school, but at the tertiary level, so they will still get enhanced student loans to be able to feed themselves. But in the interim, we will continue with the feeding and then phase out the allowance process subject to the recommendations of the Education Forum. So we would do that.
Ah, into aka safa ho I mean ya we got just o safa ho eh ada afriziana oh damn wa safa ho a o safa ho na e na waka kiro say obetwem na say obetwem no ontwem at once obesha say the omode ba first no omo so bebo obosia aha no dey atoto aduane adi say we school betua ma omo so we are here to say na opening chenchiremu yie pa na how can you say wo untumi ento aduane ma kwan obi okọ tertiary school na here ni ba opeso me teacher ni a ne maame ni bi ne papa ni bi no adenti a untumi ento aduane ma no na mom no sabio obeye say na nipa na ntumi anko school. You have to also know say a lot of the enkwada na omunko school no the enti omunko school ni nyina ne say omuni scale bi ombeto aduane adi bi omode be hwe omo ho. That is the brain master, the big brain and what J Kufoti ma ode sa de ne ba yo na me ode yanko ho na yanko tie enkyerkyeremu no ye tie enkyerkyeremu no ye tie enkyerkyeremu no na yemra
won so for hwe masua so how na dirisu na dia to dwan sa ankane no ana se aban aye nhyehyeye sa wo suapon bibia wo gye ntetea ba baye na asini ana baye kyerkyereni katua kyiri nwanam bi wo ho ne dane ma wo alawa se ya ndisi aba nimienu so yi de alawa no ibetwam pani kyeremu a wonom ato onsa frem panimfo agye adwenkyere afiri wom ho ne nimde efa kwan obefa so na afi nwuma sua titru woni agye ntete be ya kyerkyerefo ne omo be ya nesefo no wonom sikasem begina onan so ne omo sua so akonkan nti obehwe se enkoye alawa biem na mum ebe ya bosia ene obekọ akwaje bosia no na uwie na anyadwuma ya watua na alawa no de tinton time na wokyeremu a woni National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education Trinkoff utwanti asa ne frɛ na hia ye won kan ha eno de ato wono mani mu se wudu banya tete aduane ahye wano de aduro no wo se wono mo a ne pe wano aduane enti de ekɔ so ne se busume kakra de anim enche empanimfo nya si adwa na onya ye nhyehyɛ agyatum enya gitum se wom a ene obi bia wo suapon wa titru se ye teacher training and nursing training wo mu no na wo de aso adwum se alawa no de obenya na wunyan se de oron ba betwam se de be ya mo ankasa mo be paduane ama mo ho adie na aban no so aye so be pa bosia ama mo na mo wie na mo nyadwuma ya mo de atua.
But more importantly, you raise the issue of student allowances. It will continue subsequent to the education forum, for which I have the pleasure to invite you to come. We'll take some major decisions based on the recommendations, but off-head, there is no way you should be feeding a student at the tertiary level off-head. So we have to work out a transition from the allowance into an enhanced student loan for them to feed themselves. But in the interim, they will still get the allowances. Then just the next very few months going forward, subject to the recommendations of the committee. But I cannot conceive of a student in a higher education institution being fed. We can narrow feed them to basic and to free senior high school, but at the tertiary level, so they will still get enhanced student loans to be able to feed themselves. But in the interim, we will continue with the feeding and then phase out the allowance process, subject to the recommendations of the education forum. So we would do that.
Said the morning adroy, and yeah, I was a buying a peduan mamudi. Timua Mubedi, Mubapumadian and Modi. Na foto a yebe bone de apabosia mamo no mpanimfo gusu a ye ho hyehyɛ ya anti wo mogi tomu ana ye piama menamom busumi we se sa alawa no ba mutra yeye ye to so alawa no ba mutra yeye kopem se mpani ba gi atomu na o hya ase de aye adwuma efiri okɔ no ani alawa no mabiem sa semi ana nkane kasama fode ma atra ye hwɛ ngomasua so lawyer kwasi kwaten de na otomu no kyese asemi de emu ahwerem ya papa na obusa de ntia aban se wo sisa gina ye no esan sa aban kro yi a won nwoma mu abra wo bontoa no ɛna ɔse obi bia wo kosua pon no de edi kan no bɛkɔ no kwa aban bɛfa ho kanya na wo banya sika de atua nkrofo su fees amoma kwa akɔhyɛ ase akosua pon a tefa kakra wo de bɛpadua no enso aban ntimi nya ne nyina yɛ bɔhyɛ aban wo hyɛ wɔ no mu ti sɛ wa hyɛ bɔde wo sɛ odi so ɛsan sɛ aban abra mampani ɛpradua no wo sɛ wɔkan sɛ wɔn de alawa no wɔntwam na fɛ de ba ne sɛ ɛna wasan dan ne ho dua bruni a wo sɛ wo twam
aban we sɛ o gidi sɛ bio salawanze ho hia nti obescape every ho or on the SS the loan neighbor but grant and class the loan neighbor and the other affairs here for so between school fees are more free or university there and don't follow ne being call so from the I think say we share the more kana and the more very contradictory bobra na inconsistency in sa and a moment you don't move to nature say on what basis the work at the allowance free because but the same government now promises say universities the first you'll be school fees in the free. You really don't get a logic in that. Inti ama ehunu say you abuy no allowance na no person you free ho na odikuchia university for no promise na o make no. So they make say Robert Peter to pay for. So the beba no be very dire because it bedroom maybe no teacher for will not be bonded. And chekra dem kra ko baby to say bia any of the northern regions na ordinarily no one student to teacher ratio one formula almost posting no
wei lawyer kwasi kwati nka ne kasamafo edema atreye hwe ngomesua so ne na oteye no yengo
enti abusua na de oteye no direct we anyem me kana makani bia direct. That is the decision that they want to take. They want to destroy the education. A teacher for omuhu baba yena ewo mainum. Because omaina yetimuna titi nyina na teacher for no sika se na ditua o. Enipa ne bebre no omu wie SS na omo take teacher training because omo ji kakra na omo de akava omo na omo de CP na omo de ababaye teachers na omo de akwakoya adwuma enti ene ya so wayi teacher la waya free hoy. Some people will prefer going to do another jobs or sika odi betua ne ho ka beye de obeya. He will not go for teacher to be a teacher. So enti Mahama's intention of coming into the government it is not for the good being of the people. Ono ankasa ne nema bi na onyanye nwie ya oba asa oba abeye. Now heard the posture of Sir Papa we ya. Any ye. Ba say nipa oti hoyi. Se wo ya ade bi de unim se ye ade bone ofere ho a o kan na wasuti ase. Look at him throughout the video. Haruna Idrusu was not able to. Haruna yenim no. Haruna Idrusu yenim no say ono ye confident. Nanka okasa ohwe wanim ema oye de wunya okachine eye. Haruna Idrusu has burned his head into shame because when him said the oye no emfamra so entwaso eye nipa pon hihye ye adwuma na omoye den na omoye. How dare you? Abana yeyen koto ye no esunsun sanso no afei na ahye ase a bank krakra ai obi abenya ne chefa wo a wo so nkopa adwuma emfa ma obi papa ene obi papa on aduane ma oni wo school ai wona so wo nkonkoto aba emfa ma obi papa ema onu nya adwuma nya no obi papa onye den ma wala wan bi ewo suku mu ho na wanya bi e de atoto ho odi bi atwempena odi bi aye ho gaagai obi papa ehwew ko papa ho na ohwew entimi wianom the training allowance eya adwen kese a je kufo na de ba ya na odi promote people odi encourage amanfo. So mbabe a teacher for that chidi abo omano. Mahama se obaya we ye free ho. Kope babida. Kope babitra. Kona ma o maame no papa mpesika ma o. Enti ye betwam afiri ho. I don't want to be diabolic, but that issue of loan, another thing, and another day, yen chairman from Ampaso. Loan de be mauno, another day, and wasem, and yebeka. And yebeka wasem another day. Loan over train, a train. Loan uhu. When you be ba hoso na school wa jai etifie because untumi nyeden emwa wo ho untumi support wo ho na they go school. That is what they wanted to do, and thanks to your foolish voting they have what able to execute what they wanted to do. Now yen to aso yen koyanim pa yen koyanim yete hwana papa we di asem bi ba se ono de ono no oye mahama aban ne de ben ne speaker enti se de mahama ankasa ne ye yenka ne se oye detector because ono nko a na ya to abama na aba be ye ye fene saying speaker ntino ono no odo ono ankasa ne pe ayeden apam some parliamentarian members binom afri Ghana mrashe badwa fie ho speakers ben ena na ye odi obo NDC ni ba kon ena MPP for saa nipa enan wei papa isi wa yeden wa pam won afri sabio parliament house wo I'm talking about the dictator posture and this leadership no ekita won aban we otiso no omo we kind of a posture be a dictatorship anti parliament kura no said the ne agwan smana baben kaye no or say parliament is a majesty, he is the king of the parliament into on one kasa timi trans na wa hye ne mra ai the open oyo ntino osi wa yi Roxen Nexen Dafemako and this majority chief whip and also we Frank Anodompre NPP ni wayino Alhassan Suleiman Tampuri ononso so wayino and Jerry Ahmed Shaibi ononso also apam no na wahu na sabio speaker dwene say bia wanya nkura bi na oni omudi agro because MPP for 88 888 breeding abekoso acho ade na yeme yasa breeding na yeme yasa man dey na meji ahye me ho anya ba wie enti papa we dwene say de ye kakra bi nti o de ne mmra o pe ba be di Ghana for enti wa yi omo yenti video we ye bo iwi anade nkana to
Ahmed Shaib, the second minority whip and member of parliament for Gushegu, Al-Hassan Suleiman Atampuli, and the majority chief whip, Roxen Nelson Dafamepo.
What transpired was not just a gross affront to the dignity of parliament, but also a blatant contempt of the House. This further aggravates the already existing low level of trust of Parliament and parliamentarians. It is unconscionable that members who are supposed to be leaders elected to serve as representatives of the people would engage in violent confrontations in a setting that demands the highest levels of maturity, emotional intelligence, and statesmanship.
To look into this. On this occasion, Mr. Speaker was dealing with a disorderly conduct
which took place at the committee level, where the chairman of the committee had a mandate to deal with the matters. He now says that he has, on his own, suspended these members without hearing them. The chair of the committee did not communicate anything to the speaker. Neither did the speaker invite any of us in leadership for any discussion. In any event, even where there is punishment, our rules are clear. It can be for 4 days, 8 days, or 12 days according to Order 130. Can a judge shoot a thief on the streets merely because it is his view that the person has stolen?
Okay, enti afenyo Marcus, eshase emonto montra ne se asem na speaker edi no eyenkwasi asem. Ai. Eyenkwasi asem ehu hia. Afe yankoti ene speaker sore ya o se ene de sabi onecho no ehu adwo no enti ene de wa left
or proceed to lift the suspension of the 4 members of parliament that I considered were involved in disorderly conduct which amounted to contempt.
And the information person farmer say after the pressure, the Honorable Afenyo Markins, onim mra, onim the SNFata, na onim when he's wrong and when he's right. A challenge, you know. And this if when you have a support on said the Okani no correct. Intine Ampis at na speak as a wapamono, omo assign aba parliament be. Now we are still in parliament. We are still where in the parliament. Now, the reason why I'm telling you, sir, this NDC group is the most dangerous ever group. Yenyane wo Ghana maimu in terms of leadership. No, where Bank of Ghana wo hono enye mahama nko ade o na de muntie nkwasiasem bia mahama pese o ni de muntie.
President issued a letter to the public through his spokesperson, who is also a member of parliament, announcing that someone has been nominated to be a governor of the central bank, pending the confirmation of the Council of State. Because the Constitution provides that there must be some consultation. Does that mean that the man goes to take office immediately? No, these are serious constitutional matters that as a leader I cannot shut my eyes on. This is a serious constitutional blunder. If President issues a letter, he says that I am nominated. He didn't say he has appointed. He says he's nominated the person pending the Council of State's confirmation. The Constitution provides that the central bank governor will necessarily have to go through the Council of State. There are other nominations that you would have to go through the Council of State before you are eventually appointed. Why would the man go to office today with media that he is a central bank governor? He's not a governor. We don't even have the Council of State. If the governor is retiring, there are two deputy governors. You see, we are dealing with governance here, and the central bank is a major institution of state we must not toy with. There are 2 deputies. One can act because that person would have gone through the Council of State confirmation process before the eventual appointment. You don't just walk into the office and say that you are a governor. No, that's not how it is done. So this is a matter that we'll take it up as minority.
What do you intend to do about that?
We'll take it up. I've just drawn your attention to it.
Take it up how? Are you going to court? Are you going to do a press conference? What are you going to do?
No, we'll take it up. I've just teased it out. Maybe those at the presidency may have to look at the letter again, the communication from the presidency again, and ask lawyers whether when you nominate somebody and that nomination will require Council of State consultation or advice, can the person walk straight to the office? Example is Supreme Court nominations. The president would have to, in consultation with Council of State, after the Judicial Council has advised, Council of State would have to come in before parliamentary approval. Can we say that the person should go and sit at the bench pending parliamentary approval? No.
So the Bank of Ghana governor had no business at the Bank of Ghana today, or the nominee.
He's a nominee. He has to wait for a Council of State to be in place, to be sworn in. The consultation process must commence, completed. Then he's properly sworn in. He cannot walk in there.
Can he not familiarize himself, with what has been happening, at the central bank?
No, that's not the way it is done. It's not like a chief executive appointment, where it's the president can appoint somebody to act. That's different. This one requires Council of State involvement.
So it's something that you take up, like you mentioned, as a minority.
We will not sleep over it. This is a major issue. We will take it up.
Yes, Interbushia, the dictatorship action of John Dramani Mahama is something very, very dangerous to the country. Central Bank, and they decided the monetary policy for the country. You just stand up and choose somebody, and the person goes there without consultation of Council of Elders. About 2 years ago, the consequences of it is yet to come. Yes, Papa is supreme leader. What? Supreme leader. And he's doing supremacy. Yeah, one is coming, it is doing. When I'm saying, Boahe, and attack us as na Boama, or say, when it is coming, it is doing. When it is doing, it is coming. He's applying the supremacy in decision makings. Decisions are very dedicated. Where with this one is a crime. And Nipa Elders, Council of Elders, Enyang recognize now. Wakwa Bank of Ghana, our Babaye governor of Bank of Ghana. Abra Upia Enyang recognize and now Kono Koye the Opa. Who is responsible for that act? Who is going to be the responsible for that act? Mr. 6,400,000 and something thousand people are taking a decision they are Ghana for our own. It will take 20 years before we can forget this. Central Bank of the country, you take whoever you want there without consulting with anyone. Hey, me catch them. Me say, we are living in a democratic country where a certain leader wants to conduct himself as a dictator. We live in a democratic, what them call politics, whereby the leader wants to, or he is, conducting himself as a dictator at every point of view. No respect, they don't care, they
Frustrations we.
This is another issue here. Assembly American, it's not like say, Ubekase na audio crowd here, and Ubekase me age and dam. John Appiah could be he's in the UK. Oh, nice. Ubekase, my full age and dam, that be age and dam. Yenina, you have very TP. Question be or how be some of the NDC nominees now. The American say, I have the document at home. I will let it get to the office of the one. Okay, now for your mark in catch. Okay, so what's your mom and second document? Then I'm waiting to get the document. Abusia, Sam George also Ghana passport, our Ghana birth certificate. Sabio, you be some family or see ni ho kwa faba. Okujo tabra course or different documents about different issues. Ye bisa no se okwa faba. Emesine, Afenyo Marken has not received anything. But the dictatorship mentality and Krofowe, omodi omo incompetent majority no yeno. They came into the parliament demanding for the approval of the ministers without not finishing the vetting process.
Just on the corridors, they assured me that they were chasing for those documents. My respected colleague engaged me and indicated that whilst we wait for those documents, we could proceed. I told him that I do not have any problem with assurance that those documents will come, because these are nominees who are spoken on record that they were going to provide the document. It's been days after the vetting. If they said they had it, why are they not bringing those documents? So, Mr. Speaker, for my respected colleague, the chair of the committee, to spring a surprise, these are some of the frustrations we go through. And Mr. Speaker, I speak on my 5 points of fellowship. I am not acting in bad faith. In all truthfulness, I am not aware that the report has been signed. And we all know that before the chair signs, the clerk will sign. If indeed the engagement with me this morning, where we agreed that they were going to get those documents, is any engagement to go by, then how would it be that the clerk would sign with the chair, knowing that they brought me a draft report? Mr. Speaker, I would want to plead with my colleagues. Let us spend more time to Jojo. I will not frustrate you. It is your government. You must form the government. Mr. Speaker, I can only constructively criticize you after you form your government.
The dictatorship mentality of the NDC, they have started as what? Showcasing it in the parliament. Yeah. Yeah, vetting process. Yeah, voting process. Omo for since approval. Say you approve. Enti entronic akohwia Sam George di ye nyina no. Ai. Entronic akohwia Sam George di ye. And this if was say MPP for ntum by force. Ai. And throw it this way.
Share with us the period you became a member of parliament. You were not doing any other business. You were solely dependent on your salary, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as my primary source of income.
Did you have the benefit of any secondary source of income?
Mr. Chairman, I'm married to a very industrious woman.
No, I don't get it. Please explain.
I'm married to an industrious woman.
Okay, so please explain to her. If you say
o se obia o ni obia o
and I was no
obi ni obia ni ho onam kwa obia ni obia wo
nti den na otimi ka che no kogya ono ne de na den na also ka kire wo nipa na omunya ante asesa
se ya mfa ka wan hye wa and we free agent
we
bo friendly e di ka wan be hye wa na wo league
o no ye ma wo sen
3
what's that how many years
we are 10 years this year
o ye den adwuma.
She's an entomologist. Okay. She say ano adwuma potin a ye ne say otitiema.
How does she feel about your presidential ambition?
What presidential ambition?
You do have that, don't you?
My steps are ordered by God.
Okay.
And nyame ahihye ma me no, me Sam George me nim. You see Bible say nyame nim wo wieye from the beginning. He knows your end from the beginning. Okay. So nyame nim nya wahihye ma me. Me Sam George ameti ha me nim.
Yeah, pon kra.
Yes. Enti entrobi say yes a man twam to say the hwinsie and moreover Sam George say o birth set or kofaba yes you say Sam George in Nigeria ni enti I think say Fenyo Markins is making a great sense of what he's saying enti abusia bato na ekoto ye no that is the outcome. We have a supreme leader, a super leader, detector leader in democracy, the open and oye day and oye. And Tiabusha, the Yako fire day abetu fear anyway. Mede manu besia nama be phone lines na tum na obianso a ope what to me afre na oye day watch the wadring said yes sir na efata. And the free sabre we koi phone lines no ya bia to mutumi frɛ na watch the wadring. Kama pa na yenko yes phone lines na them. This time transfer club and I said when you me light in I know I don't know. There's some more. Maybe the light. Okay. It was too hard. Okay. Now it's better. Yes, and I was to me for the phone lines now watch the wording. But then I see Ebema Evan Addo Akims. I don't know, my more than you know their chairman. I say who called for tunes for the who called for tunes pay for the pipe? Ghanaians who voted for NDC will surely suffer for that. And I hear me akosi atobra. HSB BI cool. Phobia member say among phone share video no. Evans and Kama Kofinuya. And also say, looking at incompetent Mahama and his ministers, it is highly possible, say, 7th January, you may see Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia as the President of the Republic. And John Apia Kubi, or say he is in UK. Mr. Champon Kofi, or say, Nkontompo ni se Mano ni ma kontompo ni se mano ni nkai. Okay. Yemame patient dance was say it is possible. Evans and Kama Kofi was a good evening family. You're welcome. Chancellor Evelyn Mame Addo Achim or say independence. Yeah. Q or say they claim to be socialists, but their actions and doing are totally opposite. Correct. And I am here a widow or say ochia I am a patient pa. You offer Panini Samuel Okuno also say Mahama is empowered to care Ghana education. I say NDC is allergic to education. And yeah, I concur with you. I concur with you completely. Q say if Mahama and NDC promise and fail, is it a surprise? Why do you trust him in first place and vote him to power? He always lie. This his way up. Nothing has changed. Dadana and oyede was sign ediaba. And a champon kofi or say at the saying etise emo ene banku ase etise emo ne banku ase. Next thing is watching it from Holland. Keep the good work. Thank you. Key was the people you are fighting for are so gullible. I'm sorry to say that, but it is a fact. RAZ fourth entry. I say good evening, RAZ. You're welcome. Yeah, and as I say, Pab, you say good evening, Abrantier. In fact, you are doing a good. You are doing good on information space. And for Ghanaians, we will very soon experience the rare color of the NDC. Abusianfo, my be a phone license to utumi frɛ na wachre wadwen kama pa ewo baby ayaduri. Yes, say phone license no and I'm train. Who is there to call? And I am Mame Adjoa Sewa or say hi. Mame, you're welcome. You're welcome to the show. And the phone lines no to me friend so watch our drink. I can the ordinary if I dey akeke ho. Na yes, na ye koyani. Yeah.
Please, where were you born?
I was born in Somanya in the eastern region of Ghana.
I'm not familiar with Somanya. Is it in the eastern region of the country?
Mr. Chairman, I just stated that I was born in Somanya in the eastern region of Ghana.
Now, Krobo, Odumase, and Somanya, are they the same?
I am unable to respond accurately to that. I'm not sure about that, but I believe that one of the MPs from the Krobo area is present in the committee. He can help us with the geography.
Honorable nominee, respectfully, are you familiar with Krobo Odumase?
Yes, I know the constituency, the lower Manya Krobo constituency and upper Manya, yes.
I'm not talking about constituency. I'm talking about a town called Krobo, Odumase Krobo.
Yes, I know a town like that exists, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. And I'm asking you whether that town and Somanya are the same or different.
I am unable to answer. I told you I'm not very conversant with the geography of the area.
Did you live in Somanya where you were born?
Chairman, before you came in, when I did the introductory part, I stated that I was born in Somanya, but I grew up in Nigeria. My mother is here, my birth mother is here, and if you want her to swear the oath, she will, to testify on at what age she took me. But I was taken to Nigeria at the age of 6 months. At that age, I don't think I would have been in a position to know what my surroundings were. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, are you currently in possession of a birth certificate?
I don't have my birth certificate here, but I own one.
Is it a very old one or the digital birth certificate?
Mr. Chairman, it's a very old one. My parents have done very well to preserve it.
And that has your place of birth as Somanya?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You are in possession of a Ghanaian passport?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. 2 actually, but under the same name. A regular passport and a diplomatic passport, all under the name Samuel Nate George. Thank you.
The Ghanaian passport you have, does the place of birth bear Somanya?
Both do, Mr. Chairman.
So you would disagree with anybody who would suggest that you were born in Odumase Krobo? You would disagree?
My parents told me I was born in Somanya. They are the best to determine and tell me where I was born. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, on your CV, you have indicated that you have undertaken a number of courses.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But before then, you have indicated that you speak English, Ga, Dangbe, and Tree.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Do you speak any language of Nigerian origin?
Most Yoruba, dear sir.
You speak Yoruba?
Yes, I do, and a bit of Igbo. I can tell you my name, Aham Busam George.
Don't pay attention to my questions. Pay attention to my questions and then answer my questions. Not for the gallery, but for me. All right? Do you speak Yoruba?
Fairly.
You speak a bit of Igbo?
Yes, please.
To take the leave of Mr. Chair to amend your CV to include Yoruba.
With the leave of Mr. Chairman, if it pleases the committee for me to have to, but I just put the Ghanaian languages I spoke on my CV.
But it is here you stated languages spoken. Languages spoken. So I'm asking, since you say you speak Yoruba, that would you want to take the leave of Mr. Chair to amend to reflect that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, it can be amended with the leave of Mr. Chair.
Leave granted, amendment accordingly carried out.
Now, you have stated hometown to mean to be Old Ningo. We've had different descriptions of hometown. So tell you how you come by hometown.
I believe on my CV it says Ahuyam, Old Ningo. And Ahuyam is where my father hails from, where my father comes from. So that's where my father's house is.
And mom too from there?
My mom is from Old Ningo town itself.
Your CV page 1.
Led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a government on a reset agenda, but these nominations indicate an upgrade from former deputy ministers to substantive ministers. It gives an indication that, indeed, it is good to upgrade in life as human beings. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Dr. KCL Atoforsen, who has been nominated to the prestigious office of the Finance Minister, is a distinguished personality. He served as a member of Parliament. He served on the Finance Committee.
The wisdom thinkers are mutio. Yamisha will be piana. Yes, almost subscribe to channel. So almost say, oh, cancer, padia. Yes, almost subscribe to channel. Now, I feel so almost like a amount. Yamisha or munina.
Amen. Amen.
Mr. Mafu.
Mammy, you too.
Yeah, Munko Tia school fees. Now, I don't like do so. Piao. The warm. Harana. Papa Mahama. They. Because Mahama, no, from beginning, President Mahama knew say, on one of you, way from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
Or say, Ghana for more day. Yes. The Sandy Pano Katam some wild refrain, one more said only more inside out. So what you say? One more. But your papa and I could find the former president. Oh no, me person me say Ghana for say, more multiple people for students. Mamma chuma didn't call baby. And I could find you want to other choose these two words that me they must choose point to the open. He was born in a silver spoon for the first place, and a golden spoon for the first. Nana Akufo-Addo wasn't poor. Yes, Nana Akufo-Addo, former president, Excellency. Oh no, why Juma on 15th Preoccupant of what's in parliament.
David.
Or on a law firm.
Yes.
MPP form penny for your penny, or be a business and found over MPP. Maybe wisdom kakra mimi kutano obi o ha no opetna ma no be kwa wura politics. So what you say?
Yeah.
Enti no mumu sa insuko no ma we. A moda so tue nufu an obi kan asem. Ye breastfeed mumu ho afia politics aba cheap nti. Na omo examine pa omo do omo be kopot omo do omo be wura politics mo no. Omo fitin ya NTC for party na ye yanko asabu be yanko
obi atu
ye frɛ wo frɛ kobo the MPP fo ani tutu fam abra wo mo no omo nya mo ko iko ɛna mo kɔtena parliament a mon ka ba bia mo frɛ kura no mo ntumi nya dɛ
Montumi nka
mo tun futuro agu Ghana fo ani Samuye honorables. Muye say. I said, what is happening there? Ye can't the tolios are conform with the penny and near Mamuria Sikawa underground. Money champions. More endings for money the leaders. But more what got some pointy fingers. Our MPP from penny for so. A DNS Ghana for Mojune Money da ho Yen Sama Busumi Nkoni a woman and Mubimono Bibusamo Aden and will be a papa mamma to me demand to for Musa. My son Coco, Mr. Mafu. Will be a what you will feed ye and Kai say. Yes, a pandemic be by ya to see the globe, and ya Ghana and and ya a real thing in Nara. And COVID by no, and near my plane too. And then the mammy Casa Ghana for your book in Yagmoha. Plane to Quabe be a simple run it, or be a send fear. Me, my quite manamity fear. So what you say, Mr. Fear, me Kwaduma. And what is different between Europe and Ghana? Mr. Mafuba to me, I'm a Moyana mammy.
They won't say they put a hundred bars by a sukkah.
Because, hey, who are out to Europe? Who po Betria down, Cabetria electric, Cabetria water bill, Betria. Well, landlord who fear all jail.
Aye, on Fahokura, wouldn't many schools.
But tomorrow, former president, and any domo pademo, kakra, omukushimu kakra. Ghana for, Madame Israel for your coffin, Moses coffin free by anana, Mizrimu by anana. Moya womo, moya ungrateful to Danko Poana. Mr. Ghana for Adamu who say, President Binu of Wamono. Na bonena befa ebia na esienu Muhammad nimo onim sadia mu character tie etimunya di na mu nkotua school fees no mebra haruna edusu jiwamo Muhammad nim sasu wanya mu na mu besta 4 years mu baka tense wo yedai wo ye ni pabonini so what you say enti no wo di mu a obe mia no waje because the honor Mahama inform a president of the himself former president ni leaders no omo ya ade but for him to come out to praise them no on the best no
yes of course
mo Ghana for nim say so when ye na ni ante tax ni bi wo ba bi a mo am baba be gina wa ka chen say wo ye kwhwe aba because na Akufo-Addo de oyema mu nyinaa and so many a ede na ono mo de be ye no. And Panifu amutie me, yes, me any pabonino. minye nipa boni ni kura because mo am fan kwa dwudwum e na MPP aban anya amagana fo na MPP aban amboa Ghana for mun ko school free money asikafo man kwatena da ba ku na da ten
yeah
obi kwa Mr. Mafo Mr. Mafo no ye parliament or ye MP or parliament to ne ba me ne tan school mo bra SKB na ne ba what do you say parliamentary candidate no what you say
yes
say who the ba wo but enam se omunim se mo adwene no ete se amansoa eni mako hwi nim tontura kwa omunimu inside na no eto mbobobo ma ngudi mo dibone omuwia no ma bom gala way because adwene na nyankopon de ma wo se fa dwene na ma wo hu sisi usu no untumi mfa nwene kwaku be ka asam kirewa unkotena na wo dwene ka se nipa ya samu ya walking eye no kura na mo de mo temi da se abraso anu matamo kente na mo ko en wo dia wo mo ni efe na mo su o efe na mo su abrabo nim se covid ba ye hwe Germany me ba ho de bia no su no so tipie sa
yeah
Europe nyina Italy a hospital krampa na makoma correct
nya ha na nipa wu kese
so what you say ni nyina ti na kufa bi tumi sustain mu nyina ebom ho ban e ma wiase amansa nyina agi tum do waye ade anta na Russia Ukraine war bae mu dia mu sei na kufa do bom ma ndis ya dada mu ese enye no pre se ni na kufa do ene ni dom obokro no ene ya mu vetin wa na ye kronfo Ghana for na mumu dia for so mu boa wa mu na mumu me papa afanyama ke ya me nkosisi o manim ansa
no mon kasa
ya ma for press conference no bi antebi ban ko studio bi anko church bibia mu nkyerɛ wo mo they were in support with Mahama Ghana for pro mu bra nyina ya sofo akromfo no owusu bempa where are you owusu bempa ojimifo owusu bempa wo begina ho ka say woni obofo wo be ka say na kufuado eye Ghana tax and wo de hwankura no school okay owusu bempa okay so see a tax na wo kan Mahama use same tax and look after Ghanaian children owusu bempa ni asofo na mo wo Ghana na mo be dintro esi alaji eye tutroni alaji repreko alaji yokronfo alaji amadola kosro alaji ayesteno asofo na mutu mo asole masko no mudi politician ni fosu brigade mo ebesi se amasi amukotu mo asole masko tikano magia di mudi pesta yade
amen
tikana mudi di ye no mudi pesta yade owusu bempa kwane ko kache nipa na wusu wo ye na obeji Ghana adenkwa no ko kache ni say tikana na kufuado de hwe kufuo nkula no onfa no anfa hwe nkula no sia owusu bempa wotena ko waso de dem ko sia da asofo mu wo Ghana nyina na mo di wo bi collection 1 cedi 2 cedi kwa na mo tumi di to bibi dia Mr. Mama abusu mu acha Ghana nyina sia Mr. Mama na nanu mu nsu acha Ghana nyina sia na Mr. Mama amacha dia ko nyankopon obofo ni asase onu otumi nyina hye ne na so onu ni alpha and omega asase ni obie yourself oni mu really sabiete
amen
because na kufuado oso kanu ebe hye Ghana fo boni a oye ye ne se wan titi amama ni wan fa be sia for the dam mamu ti no oye ni pa boni oye boni ni oye Nebukadnezar oye say bawumia ye kromfo bawumia ti say oye kremoni o ti say Mahama no ye Christian ni nya nkramofo na de kotoma no okoda sinyo ni nkramofo dom na kwa afọ ne dem bese munya atwe ebekunkum baako me say mu be brush sa edem mu wo tikura bebre be ye tan na mu de me say sumu brebre men ka say mu wu amofam ko na mo ka say so enkodu mamu masumu sumu kwa mu da se ma ji Ghana fo bi mu ani ji afiri o musem ma ji Ghana fo nkura bi ani ji ayedan afiri o musem no mo ma me na no so na mo tutu o mu potom e ji collection e wo ma so de dem a so na me woni mu no mwa amudi ku Ghana Mr. Mafuma minya o me da
Mame Yankopon ka ho Abusia ye maame Esther na tie ne nka no asem no ano edino asem na eya ai Ghana fo ya boye ho aboro miwia coffee ubetumi afre ai ubetumi afre ubetumi okay oh hello mama hello mama ati saying
Adumo minua bema.
Ene dia wa frɛ.
Ya mi nhyira wo no nyuma pa wo yo minua.
Amen.
Na ndisi for de yesi edi wo machi a.
Ebedi wo anim.
Ye be nipa bonesem. Enti no wo de koso aye wa dwuma pa wo yi na nyame de ebehyira wo ate.
Amen. Mama me da ase. Me da ase pa.
Na afe kakra metimi aka ne se. Sa asofo na wo mo keka sa no. Omo anko school anko nim.
Dabi.
Enti no omo nim education. Sani education hu won fato. NDC for ni eniema ade papa bia emma Ghana. Na media de bia ni ameka ne say eya me ya na eya me ya say sani ayen mu bi ebinumu tie no na ebinumu so agini enwene nko akire na niema fonkwa na sabe omoye free Lawrence so bapem Mahama so NDC for nka no kore omo ya wudifo papa anyway mimi aya na me di ya wo me mu pa man kan na me boa because aya na me hu me nua no bi adwene
okay me to ase
ihu me nua no bi adwene aya me ya etu de nyame hira wate nyame kan no nyame won hira pa na onya wo kese won ma wo niema wo ye entumpon because ye work kwantuo mu no ene ye nim nia ekoso because omo mutifie omu nim nie omu hu na utu kwan ya wani bue na won a find this for no omu yiye sa nyina no omo tu kwan enti wo so wo mani tumi bue Sam George no Bible say onipa wo ma ho so pia Nyankopon obra wo ho ase na Sam George no nyame agu nanim ase so enimu guase abeba no ene so no enye bini enti ni amdi besi ya wo de nyame hira wate
amen mama me da ase bebre me da ase Nyankopon
because be try na me no wa kasa more why
of course me da ase pa haya na ewo bre bi opa bia no
Mate erade kan bye
mama bye okay you mama patient and a prayer yen yes you are coffee so efre panyini hello what the bill neighbor na
oh that we go do that no yami advice be end of this man maybe you know
okay
me the baby
all right
good evening minia
good evening to you minia I want to say
my menchia ahwefo ne atiefo titire o minia mafu o de be mamu you can say me ma o ko tie bese a o ye one of them
thank you
you never give up and that is the spirit uria ya fa kwanya o duna kajira do for say o ha o he program yi bia no bomodi ase o wait me like page no on subscribe o so try to subscribe now follow page no because empare do beti no ha obeko ba bia kotie se bi o se hunu a emfa fa so bia mbrɛ na wo ba ha de a wo be hu se ye cancer mpa no kire no kure no and nyansa ne nimdie a yɛde analysis.
Yeah.
Now we are going to near Bagamba. The Yamian say Ghana, Omureti as the 8th country in the world that you Nusa. Say you retu sana, I just say Unia in the world, and I just say one ye per countries ya. You easy to convince her.
Yeah.
Ghana is one of them.
Yes.
And no men when I happen in Anoya. Now, Mefa Kwanya was Uzunamabo, Mahama Basso.
Ah, sir.
Now, yo, my platforms of the man who had a bomb Mahama Basson there. And Ura Haruna Drusu. Yamishramo, but Bibiam will be Yamentu Munkum. Now, a position of Mania as a Supreme Party leader. Because so you want to be a friend of
yes, Alex Kunadu. Serious.
Was this Okona Nipa the Seniwos from now you know now the whole Nana no so. And dear Mr. Kian and Abu, yeah, a man Pipiako position, and say, or Petigan and Dimqua. Would you mean
Etiopa, my deep Etiopa.
Mistake and another year when I'm upon set or and this from Poninano. The second big mistake and another year, and then PPO position and every 88 micro minority. I say, or G gun the new one. Because now can another opportunity be a say, Obeja Magana, who send South Africa foreigners from countries in Africa, Umutama Nipan Wui, you know.
Yeah.
Oba Saswa, can Nipa don't now, Mutama and this in Kaumui, because now I'm not 30 places. Places are very unsuitable for humankind.
Yeah.
Also, na yari friend COVID na pepa. But now who say no, I have to defend these people and protect them. The nani was any nani monyamni because na ni we no. Na do yes I no man man because me never be a those days no brother.
Yeah.
Na how no me a hospital baby. Omo me mo ho nyina no. Ye tu akatua so.
Yes.
So now we get 1,500 euro.
Yeah.
What the mono? The amount 800 euro.
Yes.
Because we are fighting for Yaria Yenim that I beg Yayan. And we are deduct you are sorry to pay people who are who try to volunteer their life to support the sick.
Yes.
Well, and now Yanya or Mampanibia or only the say. Or person who protect Ghana continue or Beboka and money became money even for some of the time by year landmark story at the
yes.
We know how to bring economy back.
Yes.
But we don't know how to bring human being when he die. We don't know how to bring them life. It's just a funny power not really power.
Yeah.
But Nippon now getting the one or getting that thing. It's another mistake or you hard no. But Mahama me who say, they tell me about Mahama person say, for me who say, oh short memory, one kaya dear. Eti I want you to kakra ya na bia wala pass kakra ka mo say abanin ye otu atia no. One day so ye free ho. Na me no nyina tie brother. Send na kan first no. Before you know me loan to the university no. Me we dey before kwa loan ye be ma no. Be ka se fa garanta bra.
Yes.
Garanta o ye kan say ye be ma loan no. They say you are na dey ma wo.
They will go
to request for guarantor.
Yes.
How many people will get people who can guarantee them to get that loan? And you know, media na Mahama they only Haruna Dusu, the mission. And you know, school now we say 2 months, 3 months we allow us Maya until we talk about here. MPP abayan sa won control background. Where they say we no for guarantor bra and I beg loan. The loan you go have to access loan. Me ma loan bebre we as how to access loan.
Yeah.
Won fit plan go bank loan because all the am bra bia, o ma bia mo bra bia. Won ko bank go kase ma me loan bank ko school near the grandma. O be no what to the future.
Na pacho obi akwa pe be say. Okope 10,000 at all bottom. Obi okope 10,000 at all bottom. Metio me akasa.
Na me read the comment be say and alone allow us to be best performance. Next year it will be performance na month. But this is a loan. Loan so no you can say for particulars bra. Na particulars so you pay nipa na or the loan or guarantee the loan amount no. Me what fast back now go university then. Omo frame ha me na me guarantee no say on go loan. I no go me ye go bro. Me the masasi ni me land. Me dan. And the judge in that was 2012. Now Mahama prayer time. Say one month, we know one alone. They will seize that your property.
Yes.
Are you who catch them say allowance na delay best 3 months no? And no you better we know you better than no na obi be kwa nyina say kwa guarantee one year nipa say be oya ohun nam ni on guarantee. Enti Mahama de why there na this is the type of leader Ghanaians need. Obedi watem catch us what so but still medi so say yes amate.
Yes amasa.
Leader Ghana need ba ho no. Ghana need future ho no. Yes say type of leaders no yem pɛ eti ye rede me anim ekoto aba na kwa etu ekwo ya nto aba no se bia ye to ama ye nya chichire kwampo ye do tia ye to the sense MPP party that never exist since 1992 this fourth republic no sa aba we amuto ye omuto aba tia ye to se ne MPP aban ba ye no se bi o kafra che kwamfa blog kwampo anto ba bi kwampo am yanka se blog we the MPP aban na ye ye to aba disgracefully disgrace ye that disgrace here. But we are looking for this particular reset, and I'm not surprised. Say Mahamas was starting our resetting, or by resetting Ghana. Na Ghana is we are resetting. Ama bibi ane wo nim putai bi ane wo nim anka pesa unya. Mahama pesa reverse wako back. Na wasa ko start wa club for because and now Ghana was secondary school and also one lesson training na bia all year one na say year 2 no. Allow us went to how to me to pesa ko twen. For the next 4 or 5 years, I have not seen people person papa or bima. Now be I be one year looking at my yako. You want crop baby na testimony or Hanum say. Obi we school somewhere until 2015, 2016 what man was secondary school that. But through free SHS in this anybody and baby one boy when forward baby university one boy.
Yes.
He made because education with education without working better than without education. Because brother, me no can say second say for CV bra na say for education level bra. As far as I could education, no could certificate, no matter how it is, you will get something to prove yourself.
Of course.
Even a program without education, maybe my neighbor business. My first challenge is in my business, but yes, because of the knowledge I have in business, what is saying, marketing system, you can't compare yourself with me, who is coming in. I want to do container go Ghana. Container send a person, make mama guidelines. Because of education now, the business sector, I will teach you and you're going to succeed. But Obi, I want this type of knowledge, Yes, Ghana, yes, a school by me admire. That is a very big mistake here. Ghana, for my show, Muslim say, no, Abano, ya school, why my allow us a young man, that is bullshit. I do not know, and she said, Abanam, wow, what mountain in Debia, who probably now ask a and just over school as well. By this time around, school go home.
I have a juice.
Yeah, but you would Dimitria, and do Dimitria, they automatically know. Who Babbitt because Ghana, you can't say, I'll be an company school. Secondary school, I'll be in Pia, I'll be an inch or Montico. Make I pass 2015, 2016. You could soon not be ready, but you are not free SHS.
Yes,
you could school because of a pianity. It is any guy say. Or Babe or Bambe more than Papa dear. Now, so what I say, I am Matthias or because 8 years or opposition to or the Papa Obwa. Mahama is coming for his pension, and this pension, obesity and loot. Look at the appointment of Mahama.
Yeah.
Obi piano criminal person, we had not court. MPP for meeting and pay for who you want to be case for past 8 years. What are you waiting for? This charge is bank one of the money. Give me the best 100 charges. At least get 2-3 charges. I significant. Who bet my jelly panel? Sally Bunny Mahama by was starting up Munina. What Quinto Munina for you? Sasa Gussie, Casey, I said, Timothy Collins down the tomb.
Yeah.
And the governor, your opportunity.
Yes.
Well, you direct, like I say, dealing long time. There's one people, but the Namus and another, it's not home, Madame Rasa, my case need delay more than 8 good years. Also, what are you expecting? The same people now Mahama said before Musa medical and anymore.
Yeah.
Finance minister. I took force na onkoto ambulance koto abobo ya de Ghana for. Na sem kwabono. Eye case ya ka sen ke jeli atu force. Na Ghana for mpa info bi na ma say pacho and the same person say finance minister brother. This country is doomed, and if care is not taken no before Mahama can 4 years you will no mass say man. Na ne ya dem ya say Ombe sena wie no Ghana for besa ko friend people for say omumra. Am people no ma betro kwam na omanu mubua. Now you really say fear. 2008 happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the must happen as a Ghanaians. I just said the IQ is very bad. The IQ is not working. And very good. And I'm praying to God, say, Mahama is going to let Ghanaians suffer these consequences within these 4 years now. Yeah, they are man, and he have started. Where Mahama is not going to want to mean Magana for. Want to mean Magana for. Where na point is here, they have nothing to offer these people, these good people of Ghana. But yes, it's Ghanaians says, and yes, we are going to accept it, and we are going to try to help Mahama to do whatever he pleases to do with Ghanaians. May this time, brother, me my platform we should make us say, Mahama Baba had the Papa Magana for the body, and I said, yeah, me Baba can say Mahama it's Ghana for Badu. Ghanaians deserve that.
They knew.
Ghanaians deserve that.
No,
Catch up say Mahama is the best choice for him. And that's only Nipa now what to Abama say on the best choice. And the back of school free need was one kai. The back hospital free was one kaya. And then grab the go on Yard Saya, maybe a friend and kai, over purpose Yadinako, India, Cosaria, I say the amount free. That's also one penny in our own pair. That's only Pana Mahama. Now also deal with you. Are you expecting me to say, Memeka Mahama is Mahama is a good president, and we are going to support him to deal with Ghanaians because yes, Christo Pambono. Israel for the Ruba Bia or Moya Sobrechen, Yakubo Jamu Pemoma, or Mofa Yamu, Epahunyam, Yanaman, Unyakubo Jaisa Forma, your Matafunyamu, Panshomu. Mahama is going to deal with Ghanaians, and I support him 102,000% for him to punish Ghanaians for their ungratefulness life which they have caused this country.
But that's the Evans, Yankobon Council. Bye bye, Mia. I was young for Evans and Kama Kofi and I attend in Kano. Already I say he's d'accord. Evans will come you, Evans was away 3 years, Evans. Evans had out here. Also, the Mahama be already agree. I Ghana for the pay. I the Omukotoye and Omunsaka. The Omukodaye, the order that they made, they have received it. So there's no challenge. You don't need to wonder because before you went there, you knew what will come from there.
Been a deputy minister for finance before. So truly, his competence and experience in the ministry he's going to is not questionable. The Honorable Minister Designate came to the KNUST at the time I was a lecturer there at the business school for one of his programs. But Mr. Speaker, whilst we approve the Minister for Finance, it is important for me to note that he is going into that office to perform 3 main functions as any finance manager will perform. He's going to take investment decisions for the country, financing decisions for the country, and budgeting decisions. Mr. Speaker, it is important as a country, having one of us going into such ministries, to remind ourselves that we need to enter into contracts that the Ghanaian people will have value for money. Recently, His Excellency the President met the President of the African Development Bank and put before them initiatives and projects that the government wants to embark upon.
RAZ Media RAZ Media Ekwanda form. Opeso nchire wa adwene wa hu. Okay, Ekwanda form you.
Okay. Now my friend that time I went to St. George.
Yes, Mekai.
Now after an American parliamentary proceedings about approval of ministers now NCP form percent of St. George. Now, minority leader, a champion after the match. Am I always say, or with your match, they have abstained from approving the minister designate for communication and St. George. It's not the same if you're confirmed. But I'm a guy because This is a man who could give a ministry. Now, over the past 8 years, what to crew a good for to say, what can a host just what's the pen address from head to 2. And someone more when I say, because so occupy high office. We since in the work kind, a bear capaccio. If we say a good for it on Mama or Kanti, or if you have not been president before, don't criticize. And I use the good for the bear president, now Ghana for sure say someone criticizing, he accepted. He said you are going to a high position. Who send the power to the if you might so be so cast some catch for the beach, one now about out of the car. Why we are winning?
Yeah.
Because people are going to refer you to or send someone I
yes, yes.
And then but that's sorry who say these guys and I say they that's what say. I want person cancel allowance. Yakupon kuto ene no kwafo. Yakupon ono kwa ne no kwafo na. O si woni mmirim no. O ya di na mane efe. Ene no kura so. Yenwanu ye campaign no mo say oh mo ba next allowance. Omo be maintain. Omo say oh they are going to review free tickets. Ye ka se Ghana for. Nkofo review no mo kan ba je se cancel. Mo nti hasa. Yeah, no much want the war of Casta. As the RAZ MEDIA no to no. Namka o Casta over Tanzania. I mean, I say so about
yes.
But it one more so about the career so about Kempra. Or Moka review from by you.
Yeah.
And then next allowance on person became and who did the sort of Ghana set teacher training allowance to go. Government pledges enhanced student loan scheme.
Yeah.
Education minister and him. Now the time you appointed how you use next when you say how you use to set trap now man.
Yeah.
And it looks like that was trap that's the 1% of business people not admission. Because to be kept here, about the idea better. So I hope we should president
about affect a lot. On a chair, Rebecca.
Yes, because our pastor prime minister will be not paid. But Gina and the government because the work can't be there. They go position. Say, oh, now buy a church allowance. Politics, no. Why, yeah. We need to put enough for about wine.
Oh, sir, and then make sure if you don't have a show.
A game of interest because how do you use him or a principled man? Or no hand of class or green the way before you can. Or yes, sir, go.
There be no dress on your buga.
Who had a part of thinking in the political ideology or aligned to the center right more than to the center left.
Yes.
He believes in consensus building. It's our open dialogue. He believes that. Now, head trapper, why do you say idea could come out? And yet, make a campaign. Next is good for guys. The cancelled allowance better than paid one. The Uchem plan, I didn't by who's soon fast for. You came from who's soon fast for.
Yeah, I say about baboom.
Yes, teachers are what automatic computing to be our national dialogue. The panel because the world between and Kutia. When you go down a phone with that, so many mind. It just can go to me. What between and Kutia? Oh, say a campaign and you see someone like can you? No, Chinabino, a baby boy. That good for all your irritable, not by force to pan the say from here. The canvas was Ghana, post and your
yeah.
Post and 9 billion Ghana citizens first war, and if you good for all your. And then, on per se, or I won't say policy near good, they want to refurbish it. That's what policy in the way so number Ghana for good for all your name for the name. They buy a blue sea, the policy, you see, I do so Ghana. Do so Ghana. And about your campaign of cars, also not keep the first life.
Yeah, okay, or any one of his major campaign message.
The first budget statement, you could also panels about Ghana.
Wow.
Because you say I deal with the big future of parents.
Yes.
Because when we campaign, yes, the doom was there, but it wasn't as now as YouTube live for more than 12 hours.
Wow.
Your organ can testify to as well.
Wow.
But we just had to be saying, then you say a bit maybe no. Or your home bay, a fatherless to be ever good. The son of who you think in solar emergency infrastructure before energy sector. You go to solar panels. Never setting up. Then a bear, the dooms on the cry, don't penny pub. Ye walk. Solar panels on my big side.
A generative power. Yes.
In the year 2004, we could be a far branch by no friend reserve a store
energy.
A store power.
Okay.
Ghana forced to pan or stand at the point. After by a 2014 social security in Ghana phone, I didn't know man to buy this one for so. I just a bet MN for faster and very design man and back. You say I do so a question today on the take a big thing. Because once I do so, and I say, Janine and number for ever cost.
Yes, of course.
Because the producer, I'm going to now factor 2 point my cost of production, which was in part when lighting is stable. The system thought they can do 400 but the best cost of production, I remember automatically at the corner I make on the woman ever cost. Ain't you know, your parents can to buy every home, yet their collective are black and white. They know any from we are a Casachomano and the reality as it.
Yeah.
We are coming back, the 12 area. Yes, I am in the lead Asia to go down there, bra. But you about a doctor, and I'm still you. Some studies of them take a part of Yama to the corner of Marco.
Wow. What now? I know power to.
We are the Paponi. I want that one for one day. Oh, yeah. I beg you, and don't call it an eye because there's no proof.
Aye.
Now, say, well, oh, I will for a pound. We have to join it when it is that one for one. I didn't get sorry. Oh, and you know, because the catch him to Ghana was heading to the right direction. Ghana, the gate Ghana is a bit bigger. A photo cassette. The new crime before so it's about yeah. Before so it's right. I was still economy not saying now. The money no problem because Nippon and Kwan and the economy because Nippon area it don't mess the
economy. Yes.
We know how to fix it. So don't worry. Let's focus about the life I live and how we can sustain life for the future. And then I'm about to moment we say, and you might go in also person we are at the IMF, but I am a full of
I am a full ballet.
Yes, you cannot come and give certain excuses saying you're in IMF. No, IMF on teacher or powerful negotiation. Say you want to see a job next month on the budget together.
Oh, my I need it. I need a budget.
I'm looking at one. I'm looking for the council.
Yeah.
2, budget council. Everything should go. And you want to know how they are going to
generate revenue.
Money. Yes, generate revenue. What are the things? That's the question that Ghana could be able to answer. Also, the toll as ever. Toll appointments like the already for minister about parliament, there can say 11,000 kilometers. There's a parliamentary house at the hot man, a Kufado at the bar parliament. Nobody disputed, not even a single then minority and a majority. Nobody stood and disputed. Oh, but now, committee and man, what's a Kufado is 673 kilometers. Now, I get 11,000. What do you have to say 673 kilometers? That's why I'm saying I go about Christiana. That final so and I will be told at that. I final cry, we stand papa, it is to a oh, it's anyone my you. And he said the goes for oil police must hear you. You see, I want to come to you live over fun and come about it. By Ghana for Mama Ghana for a chronobo. Or say I have to put on for tax. A chrono tax, a tax, I buy the above episode above. And then one says attack and so on first. What the point behind cabinet? But minister who come first of this. Back tax. Am I boss? You go on where you go. Get to manage go. But if you be any new genius cabinet.
Baby kwa. Asabru chira kuna bi wo ha.
Obi the company stop cabinet. Now obi ada adwuma ehun say baby am so moye unemployed ya get. By a woman, they are going to start to bottom. They ain't for the weekend. Katana, I bet you they don't want my own. I'm not here. They also dead. On Tiasia, and sometimes I blame the politicians and they remember the both side because they take tax and you account to the people. So if you started accounting to the people, the moment that these are what your taxes for all. That's not betting tax is a problem.
Absolutely no. Sometimes I think the communication is very. I do a better communication. I know one line. So,
I know. Then you know, where's the woman excuse on one Tiasia? I didn't know how to be no people. Oh, that's why you may go on my community. Ghanaians were not understanding. But when reality started, I think more than no, this is the kind of conversation I wanted to have. And he said, we look at now, a very complicated man, or say, Ghana card, or no matter or Ghana card, also for a passport office.
My coffee fingerprint again. Yeah, so
up of the but we also can't attend around 2023. Say, kind of coming now. Once you have the Ghana card, you don't have to go to passport office to fill from. Everyone say a transfer that you can. Eddie alcohol. Not career, and I think kind of 2 years then Eddie. That you guys need the passport abroad with you. And one who could travel for time. So thank money in Roma, not Ghana point there. This I say I want to have a book. And then the person who wants to another agency. Yeah, I Muslim fast. So as I now open and guide, I take the advantage of it. And then they do. How my bad from book 183 plus. So man who I'm profund.
Aye. I couldn't answer.
Profund. Which means or casa. Once I can't express on profund.
Now, who are you? Okuja Tabra Quate, I was saying Okuja Tabra Qua as a press to Parliament, Emawa.
Oh,
you have been found.
I like people who can see their mind. But as a person, I do management. We're not as a boy.
Oh, that's what I had on the ano, on no value. But we are called on the value.
If I'm wearing a boy, I can see.
Aye.
Already, unfunctioning things over 1 10 baby. Unfunctioning, even if gas of from background a power, unfunctioning, they are not going to propose.
So a big betrayal.
Yes, unfunctioning things they are not going to propose. What the guy has done is the political society. Number 4 the seat now for GN is for the MP. Hopefully, and if I'm not watching us, watching me, and the idea could be a bit too bad. And I was not going to be a prayer man for them, and no more power. And I will be a victim of circumstance, you know, or my coins down to Waba. So, all that they are expecting from you this year, when you go and join their people. After 4 years, nobody has explained to my dear, understand your situation.
Yeah.
You have to explain to them. Or to say that I say, the reason that you gave might be valid to you, but to the people it's invalid. Because the way it's summer or independence to a man or call parliament or something before 9 o'clock.
Of course.
From then, you know, by or people before 9 o'clock. Yes, there was an independent candidate John Ma. Almost parliament or MP before 9 o'clock because you knew the constituency that they are coming from is a MP before there. And only NGC for super. You've lost your seat. So, as soon as we are the now parliament, now you remember, say 4 years after, who made you?
Yeah.
A plus my passport for the second.
No, but we're born who in a sense, they say, when we say, some Korean people in a Korea, and people will need his number to say something. So,
yes.
But when this is not doing work, they are already 188 into some fast one. Say,
If you now make a madam, if I say now, or pay a child,
Yeah.
because on what I say, public time, and a statement for me, but I said, or the young you fine, but I take your cattle, the godfather, godfather. It means there, but I saw some love. That's the situation. I'm like a casta, only the casta one, yeah, which I if I engage as time goes on.
Oh, when there, or Robert, or when the Casa, yeah, there.
But I mean, as I tell you, 4 years, I have doubt.
I know more soon. Say, me, I mean, fancy now, Yama. Why? Medasipa. Why? My friend, watch the channel, but my shadow from here didn't come. Why? Ah, Medasipa break. Uncle Poncao. Yes, I was here. I'm saying, break continue. Yeah, made the movie here. Now, China, Yassamba Bishia. Oh, yeah. Video no, it's in our team can be a man.
The Speaker, we have been on this curve before, and Ghana in the past have procured some loans for infrastructure projects, and most of these loans have come at exorbitant prices to the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, if you indulge me, I should like to remind the minister going for the finance minister that in the year 2015, the government of Ghana, through the African Development Bank, took a loan for the Terminal 3 project. That loan came with an interest of 8.5%, so high for the Ghanaian people. It took the government of President Nana Addo Ghanaians to renegotiate that interest down to 5%. Also, the initial loan agreement for the Temako-Sombo standard gauge railway project that was contracted by the NDC government that the Honorable Ato Forson was the deputy minister came with an interest of 6-month LIBOR plus 1.75%. Mr. Speaker, this was so high, and it took the government of the NPP to renegotiate this down to 6-month LIBOR plus 1.5%. Then again, Mr. Speaker, Honorable, if you look at the Pokuasi interchange.
Honorable Member, I believe you'll get time for you to debate some of these issues.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Just begin to wind up for me.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the point I am making is that as the minister heads to the ministry to take financing decisions for the country, we must ensure that if we are going for loans, we go for cheaper loans. If we are procuring financing, we must ensure that the financing we are procuring are not coming at exorbitant prices to the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, in winding up, I want to comment briefly on the Honorable Minister for Energy, John Jinapo. Permit me, Mr. Speaker.
I give you 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, something that is of utmost interest to the Ghanaian people today is electricity tariffs. I wish to remind the minister that Ghanaian people will be very appreciative if he's able to work to reduce prices or the tariffs of electricity. And Mr. Speaker, just to support what I'm saying with this data, Ghanaians have gone through a lot. In 2009, there was no increase in electricity tariffs.
Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker, in 2010, Ghanaians paid 10%. In 2011, 8.9%. In 2012, 7.4%. In 2013, 58%. In 2014, 28%. Mr. Speaker, in the heat of doomsday, we were paying 90%.
Honorable Member, thank you so much. You get the opportunity.
If you just oppose this.
Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, you get the opportunity one day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So that you can give up your. Thank you very much. Honorable Member, please.